welcome to another episode of Cinema Smoketography. I am your friendly neighborhood hookahologist, Tommy Atomic Rodriguez, and joining me as usual is...
Producer man, Isaac. What is going on, everybody?
What's happening? What's the haps with the craps? Today we're talking about today's newest action thriller. It's Deadpool and John Wick Had a Baby. Bullet Train!
Sorry, I got lost in thought. My bad. Anyways, yeah, we're talking about Bullet Train today, guys. What a ride for this movie. Literally, on a bullet train.
Yeah, I see what you did there. All aboard! I don't think they say that in Japan.
I don't know what they say in Japan.
Doyo Magato, Mr. Roboto?
Let's go with that.
Sure. You know, I'm right here on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's got a 53% on the tomato meter, but 78% of the audience score.
Which is pretty surprising. This isn't a movie that's for the critics. This is a movie just to have fun.
Oh, this is a feel-good movie, honestly. There's a few things that are kind of weird about it. Like, they make it seem so, like, serious in the trailer, right?
You got serious from the trailer? I didn't get serious from
the
trailer.
I got serious with a hint of comedy, but I didn't expect it to be, like, this much comedy in the actual trailer. Like, continue on.
Anyways, yeah, no, I don't understand how you got that kind of interpretation, because I didn't get that from the trailer at all. I thought it looked fun. Like one of those funny movies that you think you're going to be able to see. Like, I feel like in the trailer, it gave me exactly what I thought it was going to be. In a sense where it's probably going to be just a lot of laughs and a lot of ridiculous stunts and, like, not taking the stuff too serious kind of thing.
Sure.
And, you know, I honestly really enjoyed this movie. Like, I was not bored at all. The pacing was rather very good. The jokes were pretty good. It wasn't a stale moment at all. There was a few things that I was a little disappointed with, and a lot of it had to do with that snake.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Well, we'll get to that in a little bit.
Dude, like, the whole, like, movie itself, there's, like... what's his name? Ladybug. It's supposed to be, like, an ex-assassin, and he just happened to be on the wrong train to grab a suitcase. Because he just wants to steal now,
Ladybug was just a snatch and grabber spy. Or, like, you know, person.
Yeah.
And the person he's filling in for is Carver, who we'll get to in details later about who he is and what he plays a significant role in this film without actually being in the film that long. And basically, like, apparently he had a stomach ache, which is weird for an assassin to call in sick. And I kind of figure out why he decides to call in sick, because he knew. Oh, right. He knew.
You want to know the funniest thing is? Like, Bad Bunny is in this movie, right? As Wolf. And I'm looking at the IMDb page, and his actual credit, like his real name in the movie, is his real name in real life.
Bad Bunny?
Yeah, Benito A. Martinez Orozco. I'm butchering that so bad.
It's all good.
Bad Bunny fans are just gonna stop. They're gonna cancel me now.
But it seems like everything that you would expect to happen and how it played a part and everything all had to do with one particular person. And it seemed like they were all connected to him in some way, shape, or form.
The White Devil?
And that's the White Death. And that is the White Death. You heard his names, and you could see the younger version of him, and who did I expect to see him as an older man later on was not who I expected it to be.
Right? A Russian assassin that takes over the Japanese underground.
Tell me he didn't remind you of, like, Bill.
He really did. Like, no lie, that's, like, 100%.
This movie gave me, like, especially the first half of the movie, honestly kind of reminded me of, like, am I watching a Quentin Tarantino movie with all the cuts and, like, the way they're, like, transitioning into, like, oh, we're here in this area, we're here.
It's very cutscene based.
Yes, very cutscene based.
It's like cutaway gag after cutaway gag. I felt like I was watching an episode of Family Guy for a minute.
And it's like, oh, we got a story going on over here, then we got another story going over here. That's exactly what Tarantino does.
That's very Pulp Fiction.
Yes, kind of very Pulp Fiction-esque. And a lot of, like, you know, just like Kill Bill-esque certain things too, especially with certain people, especially with their backstories that we later get, like, you know, play a role in how this happened and why this so-and-so, this person happened here, and this person's connected to this, and this person's connected to that, and then they all end up on the same train.
Isaac, you know what we forgot?
What? What we're smoking?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what I'm smoking because you never told me.
It's a mystery mix.
Oh,
I want to see if you can guess it.
There's a lot of this and a lot of that.
You're a twat. I hate you sometimes. No, I packed you orange soda and foreplay on peach.
I thought it was soda and orange soda in there, but I couldn't tell what the other one was.
Yeah, it was foreplay on peach. You're my guinea pig. If it's a good mix, I'm gonna try it later.
It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then I got foreplay strawberry and cane mint because you can't have foreplay without peaches.
You can say that again.
You can't have foreplay without peaches.
Anyways.
I want to know like how many times until that gets old.
It got old a while ago, bro.
Not to me.
Well, maybe not to you, but to everybody else who listens to this podcast.
Or just anyone who talks to me in general.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me like, "What are you smoking? Foreplay on peach?" Because you can't foreplay without peaches. They just looked at me like, "God damn it, Tommy!" Like every time like something like that happens. But back to Bullet Train. Could we also talk about how Sandra Bullock is like the guy in the chair? And like how just out of place I felt like she was out of place.
Really? I thought she gave some comedic relief to this movie, even more comedic relief that it needed to have, in a sense where it's like, oh, it's my handler. You're the best handler in the world.
Like I don't like where I just like did she owe Brad Pitt a favor or something? Like that just I don't know. Like
yeah, people forget that Sandra Bullock has done a lot of comedy.
No, I know she's done a lot of comedy, and it's the whole thing like itself is just so crazy.
Especially with the random cameos.
Oh yeah.
From like Channing Tatum and Ryan Reynolds.
I was not expecting them, honestly.
Honestly, I feel like they were doing Bullet Train and they were on the same set as fucking The Lost City, and they decided, oh, you guys want to be a part of the film?
Yeah, for real. Like that was just part of it.
But they all seem to run in the same circle of friends, so it kind of makes sense as to why the hell they were in this movie in the beginning with. But, Brad Pitt, it's Brad Pitt playing Brad Pitt now.
Yeah. He's gotten to that age where he's just Brad Pitt. You know what he reminded me of? He reminded me of Booth. Like in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
A little bit.
Yeah, he reminded me of that. Like he's just there, just kind of collecting the check.
Oh, I mean, yeah, he's like a stunt guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's just kind of there.
Can we talk about how Joey King was like the most unlikable character in this fucking film? The Prince?
Yes, absolutely.
I could not. I was honestly
next to the little girl.
That's the little girl.
Oh yeah. No, like that is just the worst character. Like
she did a great job. She really did. Like
fantastic.
I fucking hated it.
Manipulated everybody.
She like pulled the strings without really pulling the strings.
I was just so happy she got her comeuppance at the end because she just disappeared.
Look, like the thing that also pissed me off a little bit also is that it was kind of a nitpick thing. That snake was roaming around the entire fucking train, and I swear they used the snake as a gag in the end, and I did not like that.
I'm sick of this goddamn snake on this goddamn train.
And it was like I was waiting for the snake to bite her, as like karma, And
absolutely.
And instead they used it as a gag. And I didn't like that.
And it's like it's funny because she gets run over by a tangerine truck driven by Lemon.
Tangerine and Lemon, the dynamic duo.
Those two.
Beavis and Butthead. Fucking these guys were off the charts.
And it's crazy. Like I expected, like Kraven the Hunter to give me a better show. But I'm like, oh my god, this is great.
Honestly, in the end, I felt really bad that Tangerine ended up dying.
I can see that. Like it's like he was just so like there. You know what I mean? He's part of the class. He's just making you laugh, and then he's gone.
Yeah, like out of everybody that I didn't want to die, Tangerine was not the one I wanted to die. I mean, I wanted the twin brothers to fucking be alive still. Like, I don't know. The fact that they're like it's a gag about the fact that they're twins.
Right? Like they're just like how?
How in the world are they fucking twins? And like the whole. I have never, in the history of cinema, have I ever heard of Thomas the Train fucking analogy.
Oh my god, like, dude, if you're not familiar with Thomas the Train, like, that, there's so many jokes that are just gonna go over your head.
Like, for real. And now, I'm starting to realize I have a lot of diesels in my life.
Oh my god. You know what's crazy? Like, this had a very small budget. It had a smaller budget than Gray Man and Red Notice off Netflix. And Bullet Train, if I'm reading this correctly, made $30 million opening weekend.
That's good.
No, that's great. And they had probably not even $1 million budget.
Honestly, this is one of those movies that's probably going to be in cinema for like at least maybe a month before it goes on DVD.
Yeah. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, this is a feel-good movie, but this is not a movie I'm going to go actively see in the theaters.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I can watch the movie a hell of times and just like have it in the background and just laugh my ass off when I see it.
Yeah, like it's like one of those things you can put in the background while you're doing something and just like pop in, and then get back to work.
And it's like, you know, there's not a lot of plot holes. It's just certain things. Like, for instance, let's talk about the Hornet. There was one particular scene that my girlfriend and I were talking about on the way home, and that had to do with the whole fact that the doctor that they had, you know, that was supposed to save the White Death's wife from dying,
Right.
and how he just mysteriously died because of the venom of the thing because he touched the equipment, and apparently that is what killed him. How does that make any sense? Because like
It doesn't.
It doesn't make a lick of sense because venom. That's not how venom works. It's supposed to go into your bloodstream, but if he just literally finished wiping his hands and said desensitizing himself.
What if he had a small cut?
It wouldn't have made any sense to do that. He didn't have anything to, you know. And then as soon as he touched the equipment, he started bleeding from his eyes. Like it didn't, it didn't make a fucking any sense whatsoever.
I don't get it. Like that's another thing. Like there's like small things like here and there.
There's little nitpicky things that you like. Oh, okay, that's bullshit. But like the Hornet was a complete waste of character. Like Zazie Beetz was just in this movie to say bitch.
This is like, sir, your only one line is just say bitch and you die.
She just literally says bitch the entire time when she's fighting Ladybug, and then ends up dying in the first after a whole crazy conflict with him. In the train.
And then what it is, it's just like Jesse Pinkman. He's there to say bitch.
Pretty much.
Couple lines.
She
bitch.
got
Couple
the Jesse,
lines.
She got the Jesse Pinkman role.
Oh,
it's the first season. Jesse Pinkman.
I mean, to be fair, but Jesse Pinkman, like, that's his staple. That is his word. I think he now like gets money off saying the word bitch.
Pretty much. But yeah, there's a lot to this movie. Was just what it was supposed to be. It's a wild ride. It's a lot of fun. It's one of those movies that I probably recommend you to watch just for fun. If you like looking to watch a movie that you just like, oh, this is something that could be fun, enjoyable for everybody to watch. It's not taking this stuff too serious.
It's not too serious, but it's serious enough where it's still like a good action movie. And for movies that are interpreted from novels, this is actually a pretty solid one.
As given we never read the novel, and I heard it's pretty much every character is Japanese.
That's the only real difference.
That's the only real significant difference.
I know, but to be fair, like all these like novel-based movies, you can't say, or like I hear it every time, especially when I'm talking to our other producer about the Harry Potter films.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you could probably nitpick about it too.
Oh yeah, probably.
Especially with how Harry's supposed to really look.
Oh, 100. You don't know, like this woman, and then the Hunger Games series too. Like this woman, I swear to God, like every time, like we were watching it, and this is way back in the day, back when she wasn't just the producer. I was watching it. I was just enjoying the movie. Every 2 seconds. That's not how the book went. I'm like, oh my God, Jess, stop. Like I'm just saying. I'm like, shut up. But I'm pretty sure if we read the book, if we actually put the time and effort into reading, we would probably be doing the same thing.
Yeah, but like I said, it depends on what the route the book went. Where certain things that happen in the book probably wouldn't work on film.
Oh, dude, that's like a lot of books, though. There's a lot of things like the interpretation of a book to a film do not go, because you can talk about great detail about a certain thing, right? But it doesn't translate on film because you can't. The texture of the water was just dripping so well. You going to spend 2 minutes on a scene of just dripping water on a fucking glass? No. But I don't know. Movies based on books are always like, there's always that one person. Oh, the book was better. Oh, I'm sure it was.
I'm sure it was, but for what they had to work with and what they were trying to go for in this movie, it was not meant to take itself too serious.
Yeah.
And that's just my opinion on that. It's just it's a matter of it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
I'm curious to read the book now and see if it takes itself that serious. And if the book is more serious than the movie. That's what I would like to see. Like how serious is this book? And I just found out it was based on a book this morning, mind you.
Really?
Oh yeah, I didn't. When I see a movie trailer, I don't look at the background material.
Well, it seems to me like this is becoming the status quo now, where a lot of movies, especially in the last couple of months, from either going straight to Netflix, Hulu, or straight to the cinema,
Right.
It's one of those things where, adapting stuff from a book is the new thing way to go.
I think, like, ever since Harry Potter came into play, like, it's been more of a thing. Because let's look at it. We have Harry Potter, the most, classic one of all. No, actually, The Lord of the Rings. The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, the animated, then the live action. Then we had Harry Potter around that same time. We got The Hunger Games. We got, what else did we get?
A lot.
Jurassic Park. So there's a lot of, like, I just think that there's a lot of good source material in books that translate well to movies, but not every book translates well to a movie.
Well, like, for instance, the latest horror film that just came out in theaters a while back, it's probably going to come out on DVD in a couple months. There's Black Phone, who's based on a short story.
Didn't you see Black Phone?
Yes, I did.
How was that?
It was it's like a short story.
Was it short?
It was pretty short.
Short story, short movie.
Yeah, I guess in a sense, but it left you with a lot of questions, and I think that's what the whole point of the movie was, because a lot of those questions were not answered in the short story itself. So it makes a lot of sense as to why it happened the way it did. There's certain details that didn't happen in the movie, in the book, that did happen in the movie, but that's more for dramatic effect, and it makes sense why they did it the way they did. And it doesn't really take away from the movie. It's one of those things where, okay, I guess we'll just have that in there.
Right.
You could say the same thing of, like, The Killing Joke, where they had to add the first 20 minutes of, like, an origin story for
Oh my god, like, that first 20 minutes was, like, painful to watch.
Exactly, because they couldn't have it that short. So they had to come up with something to make it longer.
And that's actually, like, a actual storyline, and I think Batman New Adventures. And they added that into the movie. I don't think it was ever in comics. I think they added it to the comics after the show.
Yes, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Well, they've always played upon, like, there was something going on between Barbara and Bruce.
Dude, Bruce just gets laid a lot.
It's because he's the Batman.
Robert Pattinson is the Batman.
Oh, boy.
Robert Pattinson. And I hear that the Flash movie, they're going to make Michael Keaton the new Batman.
No, I hear they're trying to do a whole thing with either keeping Ben Affleck as Batman or possibly having Robert Pattinson stay as Batman as well. Also, in other news too, as we're kind of like bouncing around topic to topic, did you hear about the Batgirl news?
Oh yeah, that was completely canceled altogether.
Yeah, and how they spent like $90 million to make the movie, and it decided that they just weren't gonna fucking cut it. They're just gonna cut it because of what happened with the Discovery and Warner Brothers merger. Yeah. And like the reason their excuse was tax reduction.
Oh yeah, of course, that's the reason wrong, right?
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, we're not gonna release a movie if we don't truly believe in it."
Bullshit.
Like,
they released Super Pets.
And the fact that you I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tangent here. It's a little bit of a side note, people. I apologize. How the fuck are you gonna cancel Batgirl with obviously, and then decide to still keep the Flash?
Yeah. Oh my God, you're right.
Like, what the fuck?
But to be fair, I think the Flash was already finished filming.
So was Batgirl.
Oh, was it?
It just needed editing. That's it.
Yeah, but I think the Flash had way more done, though.
Yeah, but the sake of the fact is that the Flash had way more controversy with the actor, and there was no controversy with anything regarding Batgirl at all.
I think it's like going back to this topic that we and you were talking about, especially with Prey, like how they don't want to see a female lead.
I don't know. That's the topic. Maybe we should have this as a podcast conversation about what's going on with the whole anti-woke movement and everything, especially with Prey. And, and what's going on with that too.
I have a feeling we're going to get way more in depth when we talk about Prey.
Yeah, and that's another story. That's another podcast, so stay tuned for that.
I like when you're riled up like this. It's actually pretty funny. Because usually I'm the one getting riled up about things.
But it's interesting to me, like, how the hell you're going to cancel a movie that was basically finished, that just needed to have a few little tweaks done, that you spent a good amount of money on.
Because $90 million isn't a small lump sum.
It's not. It's still a good amount of money. Sure, I'm pretty sure it had CW level writing.
You know what? I think it's because Grant Gustin didn't want to do the Flash movie because of his friendship with Ezra Miller. He's like, no, I can't do it to him.
I don't know. And then the Flash is ending this year too. Like,
about fucking time.
And like, I don't know. It's one of those things where this guy is so controversial, and like they already said that Ezra Miller's done being the Flash after the Flash releases.
Yeah, and you know what? They were planning to keep him if he's kept his nose clean.
But
Didn't happen.
Apparently not. Apparently he's running around with a bulletproof vest out of the airport with a bunch of guns, waiting for fucking Nazis and the KKK to come.
Dude, I don't know what's. I guess when you get that amount of money, like you just like lose it because look what happened to Martin Williams.
I don't know.
He snapped too, but he bounced back.
At this point, it's we're taking away from the topic at hand. Bullet Train.
Bullet Train.
Solid, very good movie.
I give it a 7 out of 10. Honestly.
Very fun movie as far as like everything else is concerned. It's a very fun movie. I enjoyed it. I recommend you guys watch it for fun, just for the sake of watching it.
Like, this is a movie you can go out with your boys. This is a boys' night kind of movie.
Yeah, for real. Like it's one of those things where you're just trying to have a good time and you just chill.
Don't know what you want to do. Like Bullet Train's a good movie to go see. Like fuck it, let's just go to the movies, grab some popcorn, let's go to see Bullet Train.
Yeah, pretty much. This covers it. If you like funny comedy, dark comedy in a sense, where just ridiculous action at the same time, this is one of those movies.
Yeah, this is a good movie to see.
Does that pretty much cover it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than the random off-topic subjects here, guys.
Which is another topic at hand that we'll probably be covering in a couple of weeks from now.
Oh yeah, we actually finally figured out a good production schedule for once in our lives. I think we finally got ourselves organized enough.
Yep, you're probably right on that one.
But you know what? Now that I think about it, because we're also going to see Dragon Ball.
Yes, it's a movie that's coming up at the end of the month.
It is coming up at the end of the month. I think we have to push that one to September's. Because the way we have the production schedule set now, I mean, it could even go, like, instead of our last podcast for the month.
It could be.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you know what? Now we got to have a production meeting. Guys, that's all we have for today. Until next time, guys.
Keep smoking.